Here is the latest news from Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso's story is one of resilience, courage, and a fight for dignity. At a time when many African nations are struggling under the weight of external pressures, corruption, and broken systems, something remarkable has emerged from the heart of West Africa. A wave of youthful determination, driven by students who refuse to be silent, has stunned the world. Their hands, their ideas, and their energy are being used to literally rebuild their nation. This is not just about bricks and mortar. It is about rewriting history, reclaiming sovereignty, and showing the world that true power lies in the will of the people. Burkina Faso has long been seen by outsiders as a small, poor, landlocked country with limited resources. For decades, it has suffered under the burden of colonial exploitation, political instability, and foreign interventions. But what many did not expect was the rise of a generation that no longer accepts dependency or despair. Today, Burkina Faso students are not just studying for their own futures. They are building the future of their nation with their own hands. Their work is sending shockwaves across the globe, leaving many asking, how is this even possible? The roots of this movement go deeper than just construction projects. It began as a call for self-reliance. Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso has embraced a bold vision of independence from external control. His speeches have ignited something powerful in the hearts of the youth. Traoré has made it clear that the destiny of Burkina Faso must no longer be dictated by foreign powers, but by its own people. The students heard this message, and instead of waiting for change, they became the change. Imagine the scene. Thousands upon thousands of young people, over 60,000 students, coming together, picking up tools, carrying bricks, mixing cement, and raising walls. What was once the responsibility of governments or foreign aid organizations is now being done by the students themselves. Schools, clinics, community centers, and even homes are being built by this massive movement of young hands. The world watches in disbelief because this is something rare. A generation refusing to be passive recipients of aid, choosing instead to be the architects of their nation's renewal. This revolution is not just physical, it is deeply symbolic. Each wall built is a statement of defiance against the narrative that Africa must always beg for help. Each foundation laid represents a declaration that Burkina Faso will stand tall, even when ignored or pressured by powerful nations. These students are telling the world that they do not need to wait for outsiders to save them. They are fully capable of saving themselves. Critics and skeptics are everywhere. Some argue that students should be in classrooms, not construction sites. Others claim that this movement is unrealistic, that without billions in aid or international contractors, Burkina Faso cannot hope to modernize. But what the critics fail to see is that this movement is not just about immediate results, it is about awakening a spirit of responsibility, unity, and self-worth. For decades, Africa has been told it cannot stand without help. Today, Burkina Faso students are proving that with enough determination, even the impossible becomes possible. This transformation has also had a ripple effect on the wider population. Villages that once felt abandoned now see young students arriving with energy and hope. Parents who feared their children would only inherit poverty now watch them building a future with their own hands. Even older generations who had long lost faith in political promises are regaining trust by seeing the youth take action. What began as a student initiative is turning into a national movement that spans every community. The global media has started to take notice. Headlines like Burkina Faso's youth rebuild their nation or a student-led revolution in Africa are spreading across platforms. Images of smiling young builders, covered in dust yet proud of their work, are being shared worldwide. This is a new face of Africa, not one of hunger and helplessness, but of strength, pride, and innovation. The shock is not just that students are building, but that they are succeeding where governments and foreign aid failed for decades. There is also a deep cultural significance to what is happening. Burkina Faso is drawing from the legacy of its revolutionary past. Thomas Sankara, the legendary leader of the 1980s, once told the people that he who feeds you controls you. He called for self-reliance, dignity, and unity. Today, Captain Traoré and the students are reviving Sankara's spirit in practical ways. The act of building with their own hands is not just construction. It is a cultural and political statement that Burkina Faso belongs to its people, not to outsiders. And let us not forget the numbers. 60,000 students, each working a few hours every day, create millions of hours of labor. This collective power is unmatched. No foreign NGO could mobilize such dedication. No multinational company could replicate such unity. Sure, this is people power at its purest, and it is rewriting what the world thought was possible. The message to Africa and to the world is clear. Do not underestimate the power of a united youth. When young people believe in a vision, they can move mountains. Burkina Faso may be small, but its students have shown that size does not matter when the spirit is strong. Their example is now inspiring youth in neighboring countries who are asking themselves, if Burkina Faso students can build their nation, why can't we? Looking ahead, the challenges are still enormous. Poverty, insecurity, and political pressure remain constant threats. But there is something new in the air, a belief that the solutions lie within, not outside. If this energy continues, Burkina Faso could become a model for an entire continent. It could be the spark that ignites a larger African renaissance, where the youth stop waiting for salvation and instead create their own destiny. The world is shocked, yes, but it is also being forced to rethink its assumptions. For too long, Africa has been portrayed as dependent, fragile, and incapable of solving its problems. Burkina Faso students are smashing that stereotype with every brick they lay. They are teaching a powerful lesson that dignity, courage, and unity can achieve what money and aid often cannot. In the end, this story is bigger than Burkina Faso. It is about what happens when ordinary young people decide to take extraordinary steps. It is about the rebirth of hope in a land that has suffered too much. And it is about sending a message to every corner of the globe. Never underestimate the will of a people determined to rise. So when we say a Burkina Faso student stunned the world, nation rebuilt by its own hands, it is not just a title. It is a reality unfolding before our eyes. And perhaps it is the beginning of a new chapter for all of Africa.